Hello digital marketers, I'm your guide in the world of digital advertising. Today we are going to explore Campaign Manager 360. Are you ready to master this powerful tool in just 20 minutes? Let's get started. And firstly, let's uncover what Campaign Manager is. Campaign Manager, or CM360, is part of Google Marketing Platform, and I have a full separate video about Google Marketing Platform, you can check it here. But in short, Google Marketing Platform, or GMP, is a stack of large enterprise solutions created by Google. Campaign Manager 360 is ad server. In the simple terms, ad server is a place where you can host all of your creatives: display, video, digital out of home, CTV, audio ads, and etc. You can create complicated structures to serve them in your platforms. Also, you can track them applying tracking pixels. Also, you can report on them and control impression share and their optimization within placements. Also, Campaign Manager 360 is widely used for tracking. You can create floodlight activity tags and implement them on the website to track your campaign performance, tracked in CM360. But stop. If you are trying to learn what CM360 is and you are checking Google support, all of the different articles in the web, probably you are overwhelmed with all of kind of information about this tool. And in Google support you see a lot of things about floodlight activities like impression tracking, etc, etc, etc. So it would be so much easier to show it and you will get a full understanding what CM360 is. So let's switch to the CM360 UI. And here is the Campaign Manager user interface. In the left side of the UI we have different tabs: campaigns, properties, creatives, creative project, landing pages, and all of the others. On the campaigns tab we have all of the campaigns that you have for your advertiser. In the properties tab we have all of the advertiser settings. In creatives tab we have all of the different creatives that we have. We have landing pages, floodlight, very interesting and very important tab here. Here we have all of the floodlight activities that we track and their parameters. Here we can quickly check our floodlight performance, like do we see conversion from them, what's the amount of conversions, and etc. And we have audience, target templates, and billing. So I would say that the main tab here is campaigns tab. Then creatives, definitely, because here we will upload our creatives or manage our creatives, rename them, and etc. Then definitely landing pages, because it is so convenient to have all of the landing pages on advertiser level, so then you will be able to apply them on placement level. And floodlight, because here we have full control, because here we have all of the settings for our floodlights. And last but not least, reporting and attribution. Here we have summary. Here we can pull quick report on campaigns performance, then report builder, attribution. Here we need to choose floodlight configuration and we will see some attribution report. If I'm not mistaken, now we have only one report available. And verification tab, also for quick data pulls. Probably after this short preview you have a lot of questions, probably even more than you had previously. So let's start from scratch and let's create your first campaign in Campaign Manager 360. Okay, we are on the campaign tab. Let's click campaigns and new. And let's start typing test campaign, advertiser, okay, demo, status active. Here is the very important thing. I recommend you, if it's not flight campaign, short-term campaign, if it's something like evergreen, always on campaign, let's choose 2029, because if your campaign will end, it will be a total disaster. Like, just all of your creatives will be paused. So let's use 2029, December, that's it. Okay, now we need to set up landing page for your campaign. We can select from the advertiser landing pages, and this is what I recommend, because otherwise you will need to create landing page for each campaign. But based on my experience, advertisers use the same landing page for different campaigns, so it will make your day-to-day operations easier. So let's choose something from advertiser level. Okay, Delph one. Billing, all of these settings we can keep as it is and just click save. Okay, congrats, our first campaign. But what should we do next? We have empty campaign here, so we need to add some creatives, some placements, etc. I recommend you starting with adding default. images. We can add them from advertiser. Like actually what I recommend to do is to upload your assets to this advertiser before creating campaign, or push your creative from Creative Studio if you use it. But let's imagine we did that. We have some backup images, we have some creatives, static ones that can be used as default images. And let's add this creative to our campaign. Okay, here we go. We have our first default ad. Now we can create placement, and to do so we need to go to new placement. Okay, we need to choose site, and this is also what should be done before. It depends on your campaign setting, on your setup overall, and it depends on the DSP that you use. So let's imagine we have already connected our DSP to campaign manager, or if we don't have direct connection, we can just create site to understand that we are assigning those creatives to, I don't know, the Trade Desk or Amazon DSP. But let's use something like this, DV360. Okay, name. Let's use placement test 300 250. Status active, display, dimension. By default we have 300 by 250 here. If you have a different creative, you can choose, I don't know, 300 by 600, whatever. In our case, let's keep 300 by 250. Start date, end date, you can use your campaign settings, and we will keep it as it is. And okay, save. Congrats, our first placement. Now we need to add some creatives that we're going to run in our campaign. So we need creative, add from advertiser. And let's use, for example, this one and this one, two creatives. Okay, in order to assign these two creatives, we need to select them and assignments and assign to placements. Here we have our placement that we just created. Select this placement. And here we have two options, and this is very important because what I recommend here, we can create one ad for these two creatives when we use, for example, the same theme. I don't know, it really depends on your creative strategy, but ultimately, if these creatives are similar, they have like the same topic, they are about the same thing, you can keep them under one ad. If they're totally different, and probably their performance will be significantly different, for example, and you have some historical data that support it, you can create one ad per creative. It will allow you to change impression share. And if you see that one team works better, you can increase impression share and vice versa. So in our case, let's imagine that we have different creatives and we want to serve them in separate ads. So click next. And here we can update our ad name, but let's call it ad 1 and ad 2 firm. And now we need just to activate our default ads. And yeah, congrats, this is our first placement. Important thing to know, placement equals to creative in your DSP. It doesn't matter if it's DV360, the Trade Desk, like placement equals to creative. So now we have placement as 300 by 250. This will be one creative in your DSP, and within this creative you will have two different ads or two different creatives, and this is a superpower of Campaign Manager. Basically you can add 100, 200, 5, I don't know, like whatever you want. This will allow you to manage your creative effectively, because right now you can go click on the ad and adjust impression share, and adjusting impression share you can increase or decrease priority of your ad and ultimately impacting on impression share. So it's really important. Now we need to add landing page, because now we are going to use default ones. So let's change it, and to do so we can do everything manually, but we also can use custom views, for example exits. Okay, edit view here, and in the hierarchy you need to choose add creative and exit event and landing page. That's it. And now in this exits view we can select all of the ads and creatives except for default ads. Click edit multiple, click landing page and choose our landing page here and make changes. Boom. And what's the most powerful thing here? Right now, let's imagine you have 1000 creatives. In programmatic campaign, it's very common thing. You have thousands of different placements, display placements, you have thousands of video placements, and you need to update LinkedIn page. Like, it sounds like a real nightmare if you're gonna do it manually. But in Campaign Manager, you can go to campaign properties, click on your landing page and update it. I don't know, like test, boom, and you will need to click on this button, save, and that's it. You will update all of your landing pages across all of your campaigns. Like, this is so powerful thing. Now we can get back to our campaign, and now this placement is ready to be trafficked. If you have a direct connection with DV360, it will appear automatically within 15 minutes, maybe 1 hour. If you need to upload it to your DSP or send to someone, you just need to click on tags, download tags, click on the needed placement, click download, then open this file. Well, it depends on the platform, but in the vast majority of cases you will need this piece of script, and this script you'll need to insert somewhere in your platform. Now let's talk about creative experiments in Campaign Manager, and CM360 is a really powerful tool for creative experiments, because in CM360 you can set up a creative experiment within your current creative. Don't need to create a separate placement or creative. You can use your existing evergreen creative, add with your creatives, set up needed impressions here, and just monitor their performance. Like, this is so easy, and I just want to show you how to do it in the platform. So we're in our campaign, and let's imagine that we want to add creative experiment. So we have our placement test 200 by 250 creative that we serve across different DSPs, or let's use DV360 as an example, and we want to add more creative, and we need to create an experiment. So let's add something from advertiser. Let's use 200 by 250 and this one. Okay, now we need to select them, assignments, assign to placement, click on the same placement, but now we will create one ad for our placement. Confirm. Okay, and just in a few seconds, we created new creative experiments. Now we can adjust impressions here and use something like impression ratio 2 for this placement and impression ratio for this placement to serve our evergreen ads 2 times more than our new ads with experiment. And we can rename it placement test experiment save. Also, we can check our exits here and double check if everything is correct here. So it's multiple landing page, this one, make changes, just to make sure that we are using the same landing page. And also this view will give you the full understanding, the full picture on your landing pages, and you will not miss creative without landing pages, because this is worst scenario you can find yourself in. Now let's switch to the Campaign Manager 360 reports and capabilities, because if you serve all of your media through Campaign Manager 360, you have floodlights there, maybe you have some direct deals or other buys that you track in this platform, you can report on all of this via this powerful tool. And now I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, let's switch to the reporting section, instant reports, and click new. Here we have instant report, test, apply, we have advertiser, and we have all of different dimensions and metrics. Let's start from simple, basic things that are very important. We need to add advertiser, placement, it depends on your campaign. We can add impressions, clicks, maybe CTR, click rate, yeah, total conversions. We can choose date range here, and if you run campaigns in CM360, you will see data here. Like, this is the most basic report that you can pull. What also you can do here is to pull floodlights data custom variables. If you run dynamic creatives, you can pull dynamic elements report. So basically, like, you have all of the possible reports and dimensions that you have in your DSPs, but also you have them here, like connection type, browser platform, platform type, operating system. You have some DV360 dimensions here, so you can pull even cost data for DV360 only, unfortunately, and such dimensions like DV360 line item, DV360 site, location. You can pull like days since last interaction. So all of the possible reporting is available in CM360, and like this is what makes this tool really powerful, because even if you don't run this media through your, for example, DV360 seed, your vendor runs something, you can still track performance and you can still get an access to performance reports, understand what's the geo strategy, what are the operating systems are targeted, etc, etc, etc. So it's really useful. But if you ask me what makes this tool even more powerful, I would answer integrations, especially integrations with other Google marketing platform tools. And let's start. So in our advertiser settings or properties, we have associations tab. So here we have Ads Creative Studio Association or Studio Association. There is a small difference between two platforms, but essentially Ads Creative Studio allows you to produce dynamic creatives with dynamic feeds and push them directly to Campaign Manager without manual uploads, etc. So your creative team can work on them and then just simply traffic to your CM360 seed. In a few minutes you can create new placements and it will automatically appear in your DV360, and like this is very easy, I like it, and it allows you to create super complicated creative structures in a few minutes. Also, you need not to forget about integration with DV360 if you have it, but in order to connect Campaign Manager and DV360, you need to go to DV360 settings, basic advertiser settings, and find ad server integration. It will take a few minutes to create association with Campaign Manager, then DV360 site will appear in Campaign Manager and you can traffic all of your creatives within a few minutes to DV360. Also, you don't need to forget about connection with Google Analytics, because you also will see some data there. With GA4 it's a bit more complicated. I don't like GA4, but with GA360 it was like really cool. We had all of the possible data by placement with conversions available there, but now we have only post-click attribution, which is a real challenge for programmatic marketers. Now let's talk about how to streamline your workflow and even automate it. In our campaign, click export. We can keep all of the things as it is. Click export. Now we need to wait a few seconds. In case of large campaigns, maybe 1 minute, and 99% completed. Okay, click, open it. Okay. And we have all of the campaign settings in this spreadsheet, which is super convenient. It saved me like hundreds, maybe thousands of hours, because if you need to create new placement, it is so easy here. We need to choose only placement dimensions here. Let's find out. Okay, up to column P. Copy them and paste. Okay, so in order to create new placements, we need to remove placement ID here. Yeah, we can update placement name. Let's use something random here. Okay. Also, we can pause, grammar issue. We can select it, yeah, inactive. We can pause them. We can change format. We can change dimensions. We can change landing pages, and etc, etc, etc. But the most popular scenario for me was like create new placements or assign new ads to placements, or for example pause old placements. And again, like this is super convenient. In order to apply it, you need to save this file, then go to your campaign, click import spreadsheet, and choose spreadsheet from your computer. I briefly touched attribution in the beginning of this video, and now let's uncover What does it mean? Okay, in order to get all of these attribution settings, we need to go to Floodlight and Floodlight configuration. Lookback window. So, one of my favorite topics in programmatic. Typically, advertisers, especially from SEM or paid search, paid social channels, tend to use very short attribution windows. However, in programmatic, we tend to use longer windows, up to 90 days for click and view. I recommend it as a baseline for all of the marketers, but I know that it depends on the client, on their measurement framework, etc. But this is my recommendation. 90 days for clicks, 90 days for impressions. Yeah, here we have display and video 360 association, all of the other associations, but now we need to go to activities tab where we have all of our pixels. In order to create new pixel, we can use name test pixel, status active, then counter or sales. I recommend sales for all of the transaction pixels that capture revenue. Counter for all of the others, like all users, browsers, checkout, page visitors, etc. Activity group, let's use standard one. Counting method, we have standard that count every conversion, unique that count the first conversion or per session. It really depends on the Floodlight, because if you want to track unique sites visit, you can use per session. You will track just number of sessions. If it's conversion or donation, it should be standard and we can play with that. So yeah, here is just count all conversions or items sold. So it really depends on your business, but we can keep transactions here in counter standard. Tag format, for all of the new pixels, it is recommended to have Google tag format, so we will keep it. Enable activity for attribution to see it in the attribution report. Activity group, we need to choose it one more time. Save. Now we need to take all of this information about our new tag. Where is that? Oh, activity ID, activity group, and add this data to GTM and associate trigger in the GTM to fully activate this Floodlight. Speaking further of campaign manager attribution is a real problem now. I've written a lot of posts on Twitter, I've written a lot of articles in my closed community about that, but this is a real challenge now because our industry tend to measure everything using campaign manager, and this is a big problem for non-Google products like the Trade Desk, Amazon and others, because campaign manager 360 is really biased towards these tools, because Campaign Manager 360 operates within Google ecosystem, heavily relying on cookies, Google IDs, and etc. However, other tools like the Trade Desk operates, for example, within UID2, and Campaign Manager can't see those transactions and those data, which creates real problem. For example, if you are going to measure Amazon DSP, the Trade Desk, and the V360 using Campaign Manager 360 tracking, you'll be in trouble, especially TTD or the Trade Desk and Amazon. You will report significantly less conversions for them. Also, speaking even further about the attribution, it is so easy to measure everything via Campaign Manager using this last impression, last touch model, so everybody use it. And why is this a problem? This is a problem because Campaign Manager doesn't give you full picture. It's really biased. So basically Campaign Manager attributes all of the conversions where Campaign Manager was in the touch point. For example, there was an impression and it will be attributed to Campaign Manager, but it doesn't mean that Campaign Manager impression led to this conversion, or vice versa. In Google Analytics report, you will see that, for example, paid search drove this conversion. So it's so complicated and it's so messy in the industry right now. So I definitely can't recommend you use CM360 as a main measurement solution. You can use conversions for DV360, for example, but not for other platforms, and it can be the only digital marketing measurement solution, because Campaign Manager, first of all, this is ad server created to host creatives there, not to measure performance. To measure performance, there are a lot of specialized tools focused on MMM, incrementality testing, etc. And Campaign Manager will not give you a full understanding of your funnel and performance of each funnel stage. So as a marketer, you need to embrace other solutions. If you find this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check my other videos about all of the different platforms, about Amazon DSP, DV360, or about digital marketing in general, and see you in the next video.